Hannibal said it best. I love it when a plan comes together.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Hannibal we're talking about.
Yeah.
Versus the mind of one Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Quite possibly the ultimate heel.
Quite possibly. Here's the thing. Vincent McMahon is not. He is not in the position he's in because he's stupid.
No.
He's in this position because he thinks his ideas are gold, no matter what.
Which you got to be careful with, because once the ideas start going south more and more.
Well, this is the guy. This is the guy who doesn't like Cesaro because he's European. This is the guy who said Rey Mysterio was too small. This is the guy who said. This is the guy who said that in the beginning he said Stone Cold Steve Austin. We should give him. I believe he said we should give him back to ECW.
Ooh.
That'd have been a mistake.
Oh yeah.
But
oh, boy, wouldn't it?
The man's ability. Well, here's the thing: as Vince has been calming down with him being in control of the WWE universe, as he's like calmed down and stopped, being in full creative control and having his people write the story. As it's been this year, this year's actually been like a massive up for professional especially in the WWE, because you've had people the likes of Kevin Owens raised to prominence as a WWE champion, even though he is, well, he's not. I feel like he could be a much better champion, but I think they're trying to portray him as a heel champion, and I think he should have some dominant matches against people he's good against. But okay.
Are they at least done with making Roman look strong?
No. No, they tried to make Roman look strong again at the most recent pay-per-view, and Roman failed though.
Yeah,
Roman failed.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make Roman look strong.
Oh, and also there's there was the whole incident with there's the Bray Wyatt thing. Bray Wyatt has had the same gimmick for almost 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He is a great talker. He's a great talker. He speaks in riddles and he speaks gibberish sometimes. But you know what? His personality and his charisma make it work. And also, let's talk about his in-ring work, which is also really, really good. His way of telling a story by his actions are stupendous. And hopefully here and now, we're going to have Bray Wyatt rise to prominence as the new, like, big bad guy, like one of the biggest bad guys on the main roster.
I could get behind that.
I could see him very easily going after, like, for instance, right now, the best heel on WWE because of the writing and also because of his in-ring performances, The Miz. The Miz is a tremendous heel, and he has made the Intercontinental Championship worth something. He has made it worth 10 times what it was before he had it. And I'd like to see him move up a little bit to, say, main event potential. He could probably win the title. He could go over maybe if he builds up enough momentum. What I would like to see Bray Wyatt take up that mantle and be like truly dominant heel Intercontinental Champion. Like truly dominant. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the way The Miz has been doing. The Miz has gotten by with shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bray Wyatt can get by with shenanigans to some point, but he is still powerful enough to where he could do things on his own. Say someone challenges him, he goes in and he wrecks them by himself. And then he comes up against someone who's a little bit tougher. Say one of the top tier guys. Say he goes up against. I'm not saying AJ Styles is going to lose, but I'll just use AJ. Say he goes up against AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
have Luke Harper do a little bit of shenanigans here and there, where he distracts AJ or something like that, and then Bray gets the upper hand, and do it like that. And you see, that's how you properly build. That's how you can properly build him. Sometimes things go according to plan. Sometimes they do not.
And sometimes we're very happy that they didn't go according to plan.
Yeah.
For example,
10
shocking SummerSlam plans that almost happened.
By WhatCulture.
By WhatCulture. And in the thumbnail, there was Justin Bieber, so this will be interesting. This ought to be a thing.
Remember that plans that might have happened video? Well, sequels are fun, aren't they? And I'm going electric boogaloo on this bad boy. With SummerSlam always being one of the most talked about shows of the year, let's talk about SummerSlam ideas that almost got greenlit. Now, big omissions from this list are China almost being made WWE champ in 1999 and ditto Muhammad Hassan world champ in 2005, because we already mentioned those. Watch the other video. Why not? Those two aside, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are the top 10 shocking SummerSlam plans that almost happened. Number 10, Dean Ambrose versus Mick Foley in 2012. The Lunatic Fringe has a lot in common with the hardcore legend. They're both unhinged but lovable wackos who thrive in gimmick matches and use the double arm DDT as their finisher. But did you know that they were initially supposed to wrestle at SummerSlam 2012, with Dean Ambrose debuting on his own shortly before? The two had quite a vicious YouTube and Twitter feud, with Ambrose even bringing Foley's family into it. It would have been the passing of a torch from one psycho to another. Unfortunately for Foley, and fortunately for lovers of the Shield, Foley's neurologists informed him that he could never wrestle again, and the plan was scrapped. Speaking of Dean Ambrose, number 9, Brothers of Destruction versus The Shield in 2013. 1 year later, there was another what-if circling the Lunatic Fringe. Original plans in 2013 had the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker, teaming up to face The Shield in a 2-on-3 handicap match at the biggest party of the summer. No room for Daniel Bryan, I guess. It was thought that Kane and Undertaker would hand The Shield their very first clean loss, but alas, The Undertaker was injured at their hands after being powerbombed by the trio through a table on SmackDown, and the plans were shelved. As punishment for injuring the dead man, the Shield was beaten for the first time ever on SmackDown. On SmackDown, of all places. Number 8, Triple H versus Punk in 2011. The match that happened at Night of Champions was originally slated for SummerSlam and would have made Punk fans even more cross, frankly. Triple H was originally booked to re-hire Punk back to the company, and then, welcoming him back, would have brutally assaulted him on Raw as punishment for leaving. Alberto Del Rio would have cashed in then and there before wrestling John Cena at SummerSlam in a champion versus champion match, with Punk facing the game instead. Considering that the summer of Punk was already a jumbled mess, thankfully cooler heads prevailed and Punk got to main event SummerSlam in a match that made a lot more sense, at least until Kevin Nash arrived. And speaking of Big Daddy Cool, number 7, Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels versus Triple H in 2002. In 2002, the NWO reformed, and as a whole, it wasn't very good at all, disbanding in July. But originally, the plan was for the stable to run till at least SummerSlam. Kevin Nash, with Shawn Michaels in his corner, was going to face former clickmate Triple H, one-on-one, after Triple H would refuse to join the NWO. The plan was actually playing out on television, but Kevin Nash tore both quads, which is sort of his gimmick, and the plan was scrapped in favor of the much better match, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. And speaking of that match, number 6, HBK versus Vince, SummerSlam 2002. With his plans to be in Nash's corner off the table, HBK wanted to come back for what could potentially be one last match. One last match ever, and it was going to be at SummerSlam to prove that, hey, he could still do it. However, Michaels was
he could still do it, and he was actually
badly
in some
damaged
cases
a few
better
years earlier,
than he was
So
before.
the initial plan was for him to face Vince McMahon in a weapons-based, unsanctioned match where HBK could work at his own pace. McMahon declined the match, and Triple H stepped in, vowing to walk his best friend through it. Imagine if Vince versus Shawn had taken place. HBK may never have been fully confident in his abilities, and his fantastic second run with the company might never have happened. Number 5, Rock gets revenge on Austin in 2001. After Austin turned heel and beat The Rock at WrestleMania X7, The Rock left the company for several months with kayfabe injuries in order to film The Scorpion King, which everyone can agree was a film. The original plan for SummerSlam 2001 was for The Rock to return and get his revenge and take the belt back from Austin. However, the whole trying to do a separate WCW thing, remember viewers from that last video? That flopped badly, so the WWE was in the middle of a terribly booked invasion angle. Plans were changed to have The Rock win the WCW title instead from Booker T, which was fine, I guess. Number 4, Owen Hart, WWF champion. Owen Hart and Bret Hart fought in a cage match at SummerSlam 1994 for the WWF title in what was
one of
a
the best
truly
cage matches ever.
Bare-knuckle brawl. Oh, that is solid Canadian humor. The original plans were similar, apart from one slight difference. They would be wrestling in a cage, yes. They would be fighting for the title, yes. Except the champion going into the match would have been Owen. WWE themselves revealed test promotional material from 1994 showing Owen as the champion. He was supposed to win the belt in a lumberjack match at a house show in July, but plans were aborted at the very last moment. Number 3, Rock vs. Goldberg, SummerSlam 2001. So The Rock vs. Goldberg at Backlash 2002 was... alright, it was fine. The Rock was entertaining as hell in his heel promos and Goldberg didn't kill The Rock, so that's nice. But that was just supposed to be the beginning of the feud. Original plans called for their feud to be a trio of 3 matches. Obviously, that's what a trio is.
Their editing is quality.
Yeah, they're on point with
2002.
it.
Their first match was also supposed to be at WrestleMania 19, but Goldberg was late agreeing to WWE's terms, so they pushed it back. But then The Rock left the company, possibly because Goldberg wrestles stiffer than your mum, and the feud ended there. Number 2, Justin Bieber wrestling in 2014. No. Absolutely not. But... almost. Justin Bieber wanted to wrestle for the WWE and they considered it. The mad bastards actually considered it. The match was originally going to be John Cena, The Big Show, and Justin Bieber versus the Wyatt family. Good God, I feel like my lungs are collapsing. I feel like I've aged 25 years just telling you about the match. Bray Wyatt would have lost to Justin Bieber.
No!
And I would have burnt England down. But apparently, Cena would have given Bieber the AA afterwards. Would that have been worth it? No. Of course it wouldn't. Cooler heads prevailed and Bieber was allowed
in all honesty, have Justin Bieber get just dismantled.
Hulk Hogan 1993. 1993, Hulk Hogan was on his way out of the company.
I just wanted to see Justin Bieber get destroyed.
Man, and he was in films like that Nanny film. It was rubbish. Anyway, the plan was originally set.
I thought it was okay.
Hulk Hogan versus
in a Home
Bret
Alone
Hart,
sense.
the old guard versus the new. It would have been a grand statement of change within the company. However, Hogan refused to lose to a, quote, smaller guy like Hart. He lobbied to lose the title to Yokozuna instead at King of the Ring, and McMahon agreed, wanting to push the equally big, equally blonde, equally dumb Hogan clone Lex Luger to battle Yokozuna at SummerSlam instead. However, big backstage ructions, including wrestlers threatening to walk out if Luger was given the belt, made Vince relent. Luger won at SummerSlam, but via countout, not getting the title, and Hart later won it at WrestleMania 10. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
There you go.
And you can even follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I will see you soon.
Okay, so the plan. Okay, if that would have happened to Bray Wyatt,
just imagine. Honestly, like my thing is, I don't like. Let Justin Bieber wrestle so that he can just get destroyed.
I agree.
That's where I'm at, because Justin Bieber does self-entitled little.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the guy who decided, you know what's a good idea? I should go to this Halo launch party.
Oh, the Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk and then just try to clear the room from people who were actually in this game.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion,
who was
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk, who were sitting there playing the game and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because Nathan Fillion was in the flipping game. Bieber's posse comes in and goes, "Hey, you got to get out of here. Justin Bieber's going to come in and want to play." There's all these screens available. It's like, no, he's got to have the private room. Nathan Fillion just looks at him and goes, "I don't think so," and just goes back
that's
to
not
playing.
happening.
Yeah, it's not happening.
I remember when I told you that.
I'm the one that told you that.
I'd known about it for a long time.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm the one that told you about it, because I tell that story a lot.
Yeah, I've known about. Actually, I knew. When did I first find out about that? I'm trying to remember.
Anyway, that's not important.
Yeah.
But man, that just Justin Bieber's a piece of work, and I would have loved to see him get torn apart in the ring.
Yeah. I'd love to have seen Bray Wyatt just dismantle him.
Oh yeah.
And actually, as he's about to deliver the Sister Abigail, he looks down at Justin and goes, "Baby, baby, baby, you."
Dead.
And just Sister Abigail's him into
That's
just
amazing.
absolute oblivion.
That's amazing.
So
I mean, we've seen worse celebrity angles. You know, stuff with Donald Trump.
Well, actually, I will say this: the Donald Trump one actually made me laugh because
All right.
to see Donald Trump tackle Vincent Kennedy McMahon and actually,
okay, all right, yeah.
Actually,
no,
him delivering those punches to the top of Vince's head. Actually, he connected with one or two of them, and Vince actually had a pretty bad welt up here. And then as him and Bobby Lashley shaved Vince's head, it was just to me it was just like
Good
the
times.
bald billionaire.
All right, yeah, okay.
Now I knew they weren't going to shave Donald Trump's hair because his hair is pretty much
his hair would just.
Yeah, his hair would just be like all they'd have to do is just blow on it and it would just go.
No, the
free.
Yeah,
I'm free.
the real twist is that they poke it and it just runs off on its own accord because there's like an animal just living on his head. It's like he's bleached a possum or something.
Oh gosh, bleached a possum or bleached a mink. Like there's a long-haired mink on top of his head.
Yeah, except that somebody told him it was a mink and it's just actually a possum. That's the funniest bit.
Oh boy.
And then Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, I remember Pee Wee.
Why did that? Who thought that was a good idea?
Okay, there was one where Snoop Dogg came on, and I thought.
All right, now that one I'll buy.
Okay,
that one I'll buy.
And he came on, and here's the thing: Snoop Dogg is 6 foot plus, about less than 200 pounds. The guy soaking wet weighs less than 200 pounds.
Yep.
He comes out and he decks. I forget who he decks, like right in the jaw, and knocks him down, and I'm just like, wow. He carries a lot of weight for such a small guy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fight him. To be fair, there's not a lot of people I would fight.
I mean, honestly, I don't want no beef against Snoop because, truth be told, I like Snoop Dogg. I like his music. I like his personality, and also
he's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, he's funny as hell.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I'd never want to get in a fight with him, but
I mean, he's got to have something because he now has a show with Martha Stewart, which is pretty funny from what I understand.
You want to know something funny?
Sure, always.
Martha Stewart has spent more time in jail than Snoop Dogg.
Isn't that hard to believe?
That is very hard to believe. That's amazing. Martha Stewart comes out of jail. What happens? She gets her old job back, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, here we are again. Had to shank some bitches, but I made it. And then Snoop's like, that's gangsta. All right, so some of these plans I would like to have seen. Like, for instance, I'd love to have seen Bret Hart versus Hulk Hogan in 1993. The passing of the torch. But Hulk Hogan being Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
don't want to lose to no small guy.
Hogan gonna Hogan.
Hulk Hogan's gonna. Except this is before the racism.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, well, honestly, WWE has no right to really say anything about Hulk Hogan saying all that stuff because truth is, Vince McMahon dropped that on live TV.
Oh yeah, that was
in front of Booker T.
Uh-huh. And I am honestly amazed at Booker T's restraint in that matter.
Tell me he did not just say that. Yep, he said it.
And you're just like,
why?
Booker T is a scary man.
Oh, Booker T. Okay, there's actually an old story. It's a fight between the two, or not between Vince and Booker T, but between Booker T and Batista. And everyone was just like, "Oh, Batista's gonna kill him." They go into a room, and guess who comes walking out?
Booker T.
Booker freaking T. So Vince McMahon was actually impressed by Booker T's toughness, and gave him a run with the World Heavyweight Championship. So to me, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's to me, that's just the best thing. So, well, wrestling's a tough business, and people are like, "Oh, the bumps are fake," and all the story. Yeah.
I mean, look, whether the bumps are fake or not, you gotta have a lot of athletic ability to do some of that stuff.
Yeah, there's some guys who are like sponges for punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Your Mick Foley's and a bunch of the ECW wrestlers and roster at the time. But the truth is, at the end of the day, these people, they take big falls sometimes.
And in all honesty,
gravity don't give a damn about no one.
And it's really hard. Like, hurting somebody is one thing. Making it look like you hurt somebody without actually doing it, much more difficult.
Yeah. So, all right. This was... I'm happy that some of these plans didn't happen. I wish some of these plans would have happened.
Yep.
So, let us know what you think. Do you think... or were there any that they missed in this list? Let us know in the comments down below. And tell us, which one off this list would you like to have happened the most? And I guess with that, don't forget to check out the original link, or the original video in the link in the description. Don't forget to check out our various other endeavors, including our Patreon and our P.O. Box. And until next time, we are the Renegades, and we will see you later, everyone. Take care.